Hello friends, today we will discuss marriage in a Cancer Ascendant horoscope. As you can see on the board, this is a Cancer Ascendant, number 4 is written here. The 7th house signifies marriage, number 10 is written in the 7th house. Saturn is the lord of the 7th house. And the 11th house signifies wish fulfillment of a person. Number 2 is written there, Taurus sign, Venus is the lord of this sign. And once a person gets married, then the size of the family increases, so which is indicated by the second house where number 5, the sign of Leo is written there. Sun is the lord of the second house. So we will see what will happen when the lord of the 7th house is placed in the 12 houses of the horoscope. Thereafter we will see what is the condition of the 7th house itself because of whichever planets are placed in the 7th house. And in the end, we will take a look at remedies, upays or precautions which must be followed in this horoscope so as to get best results regarding marriage. Looking at the 7th house here, we must note that Saturn is the lord of the 7th house where number 10 is written, the sign of Capricorn, and Saturn is also the lord of the 8th house where number 11 is written, the sign of Aquarius. Now while 7th house gives marriage, the 8th house gives all kind of troubles, problems, fights, secrecy, etc. So, Saturn being the significator of both these houses, we must analyze these two houses critically. In addition, the sign number 10 of Capricorn, when it is placed in the 7th house, by itself has a lot of things going on for it. Like the moon becomes detrimental here and Saturn comes in its own sign and gives a very auspicious yoga called the Shasha Yoga. At the same time, Mars becomes exalted in the sign and Jupiter becomes debilitated. So a lot of action is packed in this sign. So we must analyze this particular sign very critically. When we look at the 7th lord Saturn in all the 12 houses, when Saturn is in the first house, we must remember that Saturn itself is a significator of delays. And when Saturn is placed in the first house, from there it will aspect the 7th house. And in the first house, Saturn is right opposite its own sign. And therefore, there will be some delays caused by Saturn. Overall, the position will still be positive regarding the marriage. When Saturn is placed in the second house, once again Saturn is opposite its own sign of Aquarius and becomes detrimental. However, second house signifies an increase in family size of the person and therefore Saturn will give marriage in this condition, however with a delay, and the proposal for marriage may come through a close male relative of the person. When Saturn is placed in the third house, this is the house of communications and the lord of marriage has moved to the house of communications. So this will imply that the proposal for marriage may fructify through some kind of communications like advertisements or internet, marriage sites, marriage apps, etc. Also, because the third house signifies younger brothers, neighbors or acquaintances, employees, so the proposal of marriage could come through them also. When Saturn is placed in the 4th house, Saturn in this sign of Libra becomes exalted and makes a very auspicious yoga called the Shasha Yoga and becomes very strong to give good results. And in this position of Saturn in the 4th house, we will find that the person may get married in their hometown. The marriage offer may occur through their mother or through mother sisters or some motherly like figures. The spouse of the person will be a working lady or a man. When Saturn is placed in the 5th house, 5th house indicates love affairs, so the lord of marriage come to the house of love affairs, indicates a very strong possibility of a love marriage. However, because Saturn is also the lord of the 8th house, so this combination also indicates that there may have been a secret love affair before marriage which later on fructified into marriage, especially in case this Dashantar Dasha of Saturn is connected to Venus. Then we will find that initially there may have been a secret love affair which was later on converted into a love marriage. When Saturn is placed in the 6th house, 6th house is 12th to the 7th house and indicates a lot of fights, arguments, disputes. At the same time, Saturn is also the lord of the 8th house. And so the condition of these two houses must be seen very critically, because in case there is a connection to malefic planets in the Dashantar Dasha, in that case this position can lead to a lot of fights, arguments, disputes, legal cases and divorce. However, if the 6th house is not very strong, in that case we will find that there will be some kind of arguments, etc. between the couple. When Saturn is placed in the 7th house, once again Saturn has come to its own sign and again creates the auspicious yoga, Shasha Yoga, to give good results regarding the marriage. Especially if this Dashantar Dasha is connected to Venus and Sun in any way, in that Dashantar Dasha, Saturn will give marriage. When Saturn is placed in the 8th house, Saturn is once again in its own sign and becomes very strong, and here the condition of the 7th and 8th house must be critically evaluated, that which house is stronger. In case the 8th house is stronger, in that case there will be a lot of fights and disputes during the marriage. However, if there is a connection to Venus in the Dashantar Dasha, in that case the person will get dowry in the marriage. When Saturn is placed in the 9th house, 9th house is an auspicious house once again, it's a trine house and Saturn gives good effects regarding marriage in this house. When Saturn is placed in the 10th house, 10th house has the sign number 1, which is Aries, and Saturn becomes debilitated or niche in this sign. However, please note that because in this horoscope Saturn is now placed in a Kendra house, so an automatic niche bhang yoga takes place, and here Saturn will give good results and positive results regarding the marriage, and the marriage may occur through professional circles, like people meeting each other in office and these type of things. When Saturn is placed in the 11th house, 11th house is the house of profits, gains, wish fulfillment, and the lord of marriage has now come to the house of wish fulfillment, which is a very good placement in the horoscope, and it indicates a positive result for a person getting married. At the same time, the person may get dowry during the marriage. When Saturn is placed in the 12th house, 12th house is the house of separation, going away, and also the house of foreign and abroad. So this placement must be critically checked with the Dashantar Dasha, because Saturn here being the lord of 8th house also indicates a lot of issues, and definitely a separation can take place. However, if the Dashantar Dasha is connected to Venus, in that case we will find that the person will get a dowry, as well as the person may get married with a connection to foreign country or abroad. Overall, when we look at Saturn, we must remember that Saturn is the significator of delays, and whenever Saturn is placed or aspecting any house, in that case Saturn will surely give delays. And in this horoscope, because it is also the lord of the house which gives a lot of delays, disappointments, etc., so all the more reason that Saturn is likely to cause delays in this horoscope. And when Saturn is placed in the 1st house, 5th house and 10th house, from these 3 houses Saturn will aspect the 7th house, and again this must be remembered because this aspect is going to lead to delays in marriage. Looking at rest of the planets, when Sun is placed in this house, Sun is the lord of the 2nd house. 2nd house indicates family and increase in family size and supports the marriage, and therefore Sun in this position will give good results regarding the marriage to the person. The spouse will have characteristics of a mix of Saturn, the 10th sign, and of Sun. Under the effect of Sun, the personality of the spouse will be very magnetic, attractive. People will get attracted towards them. They will have authority in their voice and an influence on the people. They would want to maintain themselves and their house in a very good condition. When Moon is placed in this house, Moon is the Lagnesh and comes right opposite its own sign and becomes detrimental. And Moon has the nature of ups and downs. So the nature of the spouse will have a lot of ups and downs, and Moon being detrimental here will also give a lot of ups and downs in the marriage and little bit of difficulties. And we will find that the spouse may have the characteristics of Moon, that is, the emotions may go sometimes very happy and sometimes very sad and these kind of things, and the physical body may be slightly fair in color and a tendency to put on weight. When Mars is placed in the 7th house, Mars is the lord of the 10th house and Mars is lord of the 5th house, and in this sign Mars becomes exalted, so becomes very powerful to give good results. At the same time, the lord of the love affair has moved to the house of marriage, and therefore the possibility of a love marriage becomes very strong here. And the love marriage can occur through their official circles. That means the boy and girl may meet each other in office or through their colleagues. When Mercury is placed in this house, Mercury is the lord of the 12th house and Mercury is the lord of the 3rd house. Because Moon keeps an enmity with Mercury, it has given Mercury bad houses, and the 12th house indicates separation. So we must check critically the condition of these two houses, the 3rd house and the 12th house, as to what is their strength. In case the 12th house is strong, then there will be separation between the husband and wife. And in case the 3rd house is strong, then the role of communication in the marriage will come up. That means the marriage may take place through some kind of advertisements, newspapers, dating or marriage sites, apps, etc. When Jupiter is placed in the 7th house, Jupiter is the lord of the 9th house. The 9th house is a very auspicious and trine house and considered to give good effects. However, Jupiter is also the lord of the 6th house, which is 12th to the 7th house, which denies marriage or creates problems in marriage. At the same time, in this sign, Jupiter becomes Neech. However, in this horoscope, because Jupiter now is in Kendra, therefore an automatic Neech Bhang Yoga takes place. Overall, the results of Jupiter in this case will depend on the strength of these two houses. In case the 6th house is strong and there is a connection to malefic planets in the Dasha Antardasha, in that case, a divorce will take place. However, normally we will see that a lot of fights, arguments may take place, and under the effect of Jupiter, the personality of the person's wife or husband will be a slightly fair color, slightly heavier upper body, a tendency to speak or advise a lot and to display their wisdom. In case the 9th house is very strong, in that case we will find that the offer for marriage may come from the side of the spouse. When Venus is placed in this sign, Venus is the lord of the 11th house and Venus is the lord of the 4th house. The 11th house is the house of wish fulfillment. The lord of wish fulfillment coming to the house of marriage is a very good indication, and Venus will give positive results here regarding the marriage. The marriage of the person may take place in their own hometown. Overall, when we look at this horoscope, Saturn, which is the lord of the 7th house, Venus, which is the lord of the 11th house, and Sun, which is the lord of the 2nd house, are the most important planet. Out of these, Saturn and Venus are most important. So we must do the remedies accordingly to get good results. In order to get better results regarding marriage, in case you are a Cancer ascendant horoscope, first remedy is a lifestyle habit to always help poor and old people. The second remedy is a precaution is to avoid having non-veg and alcohol. The third remedy is Again, a lifestyle, good habit to be always well dressed. And the fourth remedy is on Fridays, feed cows green fodder. Doing these things will enable these two planets to give you better results regarding marriage in case you are a Cancer ascendant. I hope you would have understood the basics of marriage in Cancer ascendant. See you in the next video. Thank you.